Hi everybody, Moadim L'Simcha. It's absolutely wonderful to be here with you today with my dear friend and colleague, hazzan Nachshon Rodrigues Pereira, who's joined us all the way from Amsterdam for Hosha'ana Rabah, the last day of the festival of Sukkot. The day is known as Hosha'ana Rabah because it is the great Hosha'anot. We don't only do one circuit in the synagogue, but we do 7 circuits as we pray for this final time of hope for the new year ahead. Many people think that it's Kippur, which is the last day, but in fact it's Hosha'ana Rabah, which is the final seal in the book for the year ahead. And so every year Nachshon joins us all the way from Amsterdam to lead the tefillah. And we'll talk a little bit about the tefillah a little bit later. But first of all, Nachshon, great to have you here in London.
Great to be
here in the Sukkot Bevis Marks. And we actually have some pictures of Amsterdam hanging in our sukkah from the Esnocha, from the Portuguese Synagogue, just to make sure that you feel at home
Much
when you're
appreciated.
here with us. So we did something new this year that we hadn't done before. We had a limud, or a meldadura, for Hosha'ana Rabah, which you kindly prepared a booklet for the service. And Nachshon, I was just wondering if maybe you could explain to everyone what exactly a limud is, its origin, and what it was that we did last night.
Of course. Well, first of all, it's not necessarily new, because in Amsterdam this has been going on for literally for centuries. And the book that I created is based on an original version of the early 18th century. And basically on Hosha'ana Rabah we study the Torah, we study all of Tanakh, we study even the Midrash, the Talmud, as a preparation for this really important day, basically almost as important as Yom Kippur, because our fate for the coming year is being sealed. And so originally we would do the first portion of every parasha and the last portion of every parasha, and then of all of Nevi'im and all of Ketuvim. And so in the past years, let's say after the Second World War, we made a summary of that, and that's what we did last night. And it was just very powerful, because in just an hour you go through the whole year, also the tunes of the new year. And so that's what we did last night. It was a very special occasion, and I hope this is the start also for London of a new tradition. And to have a limud in Amsterdam is not just for Hosha'ana Rabah, but we also do it for Shavuot, similar, and we do it for joyous occasions, before Bar Mitzvah, before a Chuppah, before a Brit Milah, and also for a Nachala, for a yard site. And we always take texts from Tanakh and from Mishnah that are appropriate, applicable to the situation. And so this is a very common thing actually to do as a community. And the one on Tu B'Shvat is the most popular one, and we get a full room of people studying texts that have to do with trees and the circle of life.
Fantastic. Yeah, I actually remember that it being done at Cherry Israel in New York as well. So it's definitely in other Spanish and Portuguese communities, even if it's been less common, at least in recent times here in London. What was actually amazing to me about the limud, and you referenced it in what you just said, was that as you go through it, so you, depending on what you're reading, there's different melodies, because obviously there's the melody for reading Torah, there's the melody for reading Nevi'im from the Haftarot, but then there's all the other melodies that we know that apply to selections that we read for Tisha B'Av of Echa, or when we do Shir Hashirim, and in addition to obviously the text itself, the melodies really pull you into like completely different emotional states, because all of a sudden it's Tisha B'Av, and all of a sudden the melody switches and it's Shavuot, or all of a sudden it's the 3 weeks, or it's the Haftarah, and you're really in a very quick succession getting pulled into these very different moments throughout the year, packed into just an hour of study, which is a really powerful emotional experience. So I mean, amazing for a limud to really kind of be so powerful in that way. So this is great. So we have the booklet now, and please God, we'll be able to do this on other on other occasions. So thank you for that. But what actually felt to me like a really strong connection to what we did with the limud to Hosha'ana Rabah more broadly is that idea of different, shall we say, melodies is really a theme that you experience on Hosha'ana Rabah during the morning service, which is one of those classic, or shall we say, well-known, unique services of the Spanish and Portuguese Jews. We do certain days very well. Hosha'ana Rabah is definitely one of them, where people who maybe don't always go to Spanish and Portuguese, for Hosha'ana Rabah, they do, because it's so special. And you actually find that in the service, you have melodies from Rosh Hashanah, from Kippur, obviously the text, many of the words that we say in the Slichot of Kippur. We sound the shofar. You have the lulav and etrog, and so it almost feels like it's Rosh Hashanah, Kippur, and Sukkot, in one service. So if you missed all those, you come to this and you get everything at once. So again, it really has this very kind of emotional, visceral feeling, and I guess that's the point, to really set you in that moment of intensity, that this is the final moment for prayer for the year ahead. And
absolutely, and that's also how I feel it. Of course, I have to be with my community in Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, but we don't have a service for Hosha'ana Rabah. And really, the truth is, if I wouldn't be there, this is the place that I want to be at Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. This is where I want to be. So, just like you said, being here on Hosha'ana Rabah and having basically Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and Sukkot in one service, it really does feel like that. And it sort of makes up for not being here on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. And it's excellent. And it's a service, you're not just there, you're not just praying, you really feel it. And especially here with the beautiful tunes that we have and the community and the communal singing, this is really what I want to be also in Hosha'ana Rabah.
Well, wonderful, Nachshon. We absolutely love having you here. But we know that you live in Amsterdam, where you are the minister of a Portuguese congregation, perhaps the only Portuguese congregation to have been founded in the 21st century, the Kahal, the congregation of Bendigamos. Nachshon, I was wondering if you could tell everybody a little bit about your community and what it is that you're doing with this new beautiful congregation.
Absolutely, yes. So Bendigamos started off as a project, as a hobby, 8 years ago in 2015. Because basically, I was the hazzan of the Portuguese Synagogue in Amsterdam, but it was a very long walk. It took me an hour and a half to get there, and this was true for most of the people. Just like Bevis marks here, it's not situated where most of the Jews are situated. So I decided to start a new minyan closer to where the Jews live, to get more people to have the opportunity to come to an S&P service, but also really to invest into creating a new generation of people that know our service, that love our service, and know how to lead our service. Because the truth is, we were drying up. And fortunately, now 8 years ahead, we have a beautiful congregation, a community with on Shabbat, on average between 80 and 100 people, the average age being 30. So many young people, youngsters, teenagers that are actively learning our service, and it's just beautiful. It's such a pleasure to be with this growing community, S&P community, and and to see they're sharing the passion about our beautiful minhagim. Last Yom Kippur, we had a group of 20 youngsters together leading the slichot, reading the Torah, which was just amazing. So I want to let you know that you are all very welcome to have a visit sometime in Amsterdam and see your sister congregation. We'll make sure to give you a very warm welcome. So let me know in advance when you're coming. And also, if you like to support us in any way or to follow us, please look for us on Facebook or on Patreon or on Instagram, Bendigamos Bendigamos Amsterdam or Bendigamos NL. And then you can help us also to continue growing, and we can see there's so much potential in Amsterdam, one of the original S&P cities, and we're hoping to even double in size in 5 to 10 years. So I hope you'll all be witness of that.
Nachshon, I'll tell you, what you're doing is inspiring to Portuguese communities around the world, because I think a lot of people think, the Portuguese traditions are kind of just for the old timers. But what you've actually showed is that no, young people absolutely love it and adore it as much as everybody else who's grown up in the tradition as well. And you inspire all of us to say that we can all grow our communities, that we can all bring young people in, that we can inspire, we can preserve the minhagim, while growing our congregations.
Absolutely.
And we're taking the inspiration, the cue from the youngsters in Bendigamos, for the old timers in congregations like Bevis Marks to really continue to grow and to build and to develop. Obviously, we're building now this visitor center. We're going to have Shabbat catered meals when the visitor center is done, and similar to Nachshon, we welcome Jews from around the world to come spend Shabbat with us, to learn, to be inspired, to be part of it, and may we together see all of our communities succeed in the year ahead.
Amen. Absolutely. And I'm sure I've been coming here for 7 or 8 years regularly, and I'm sure also, of course, with you as a rabbi of the congregation, this community has so much potential. It has so much potential, and that you may see that you will reap all the fruits from all the hard work you've put in already, and that you also will double in size in 5 or 10 years.
Please God, please God. Wish everyone a Chatimat Tova, a Moadim L'Simcha, Shabbat Shalom. Nachshon, thank you once again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you.
And as really one final thing, for those of you that love the Spanish and Portuguese, love the traditions, those of you who are watching this from Bendigamos, please feel welcome to subscribe to this channel, which is all about the traditions, the minhagim of the Spanish and Portuguese, and we look forward to learning and growing together. Thank you.